What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, this last week for the Indianapolis Colts has been one of the wildest weeks that any team has seen in a long time. Okay. In regards to Colts history, other than the Indianapolis Colts deciding to move and pack up the team from Baltimore to Indianapolis back in 1984, I don't know if there's ever been a more wild week for the Indianapolis Colts than what we have seen transpire this week. And here I'm going to help break it all down for you guys because I just have to think about everything that is going on. So let's transfer back to last week. We talk about November 6th, 2022 for the Indianapolis Colts. They're facing Foxborough. Or facing the Patriots in Foxborough. You're going into Foxborough with a chance to help redeem yourselves. You have a quarterback that the coach says is now going to be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. Going forward, because your quarterback that you signed in the offseason is hurt and you want to see what this other guy has. And there's already been rumors of this guy losing his job, right? So things are not already going well for you, and you just lost the previous week, but then you go into Foxborough, you play against the New England Patriots, and your offense puts together one of the worst offensive performances in franchise history. And we're taking this all the way back through the Colts history. This is some of the worst stuff that we have ever seen. The Colts had a grand total of 121 yards in that game, which is the worst that they'd had in almost 20 years. In over 20 years, actually. They were 0-14 in that game. That's the worst that they've had since 1971, if I can recall. And it was a atrocious day. You got blown off the field by New England. A team that has, been your rival for many years prior to when this regime came in. It was a thing where they said that the rivalry's back on. This team is a personal one for us. And you get beat 26-3 by the Patriots beating you at your own game. So you lose. You lose big time. You go down 3-5-1. After this team was hyped up to be a playoff team this year, and you got beat in the mouth by a average to above average team at best. And so you go out of New England and you're feeling down about yourself. Obviously what transpires next would alter the course of this Colts franchise in that moment time and will probably maybe for years to come, maybe. So the Indianapolis Colts fire head coach Frank Reich after 5 years with the team. And it was so very sudden, so very subtle after the fact that Jim Irsay had stated a week prior to that Frank's job is safe for the remainder of the season. But then when that happens, you end up firing him anyway at the end of it. And so this whole media thing just blows up. The Colts finally get rid of Frank Reich, which a lot of Colts fans saw coming. In that way, in that moment, I think a lot of people did not. And it was a shocker to a lot of people. But then that does not even come close to the shocker of a move that is made afterwards. And you then had Jeff Saturday, a former Indianapolis Colts player, one of the greatest centers of all time, come in to the building and you name him interim head coach for the remainder of the 2022 season. A lot of people were shocked, just as I was, and were thinking, man, what? Jeff Saturday? Really? Why? And everyone immediately jumped on the opportunity to judge Jim Irsay and all these other things for why he didn't hire someone else, mainly for the coaching experience thing. And then you had the presser Monday night, which was the wildest night on our channel, wildest day on our channel ever, where they had a presser where you had Jim Irsay talking for 75% of the time, Jeff Saturday getting a few questions on being introduced to the team, and Ballard just sitting there to look kind of pretty, like that sort of situation. So then as the week goes on, you have this whole media outroar of people not happy with the Indianapolis Colts hiring of Jeff Saturday, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But which we'll get into in another video, actually. But then you had Jeff Saturday, his first official presser as the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. And he actually won a lot of people over. He won a lot of people over. He did a lot of great things, said a lot of great things, and people fell in love with what Jeff Saturday was about. And some people still to this day will not like Jeff Saturday or the hire, and I don't really care at this point. But then, there's a lot riding on this game that's coming up for the Indianapolis Colts. They face the Raiders, coached by Josh McDaniels, who was hired in 2018 or in 2017 to lead this team going forward, and then backed out of it 12 hours later, in which the Colts ended up signing Frank Reich. So there's a lot of bad blood between Josh McDaniels and this team. So it's a very personal one for a lot of people. And then, unfortunately, the news that you get Friday, one of your cornerstone pieces, Shaquille Leonard, is placed on IR because of a lingering injury that occurred from him having back surgery earlier in the offseason. So you get blown out in a week on Sunday. You fire your head coach on Monday. You sign a guy on Monday that a lot of people were dumbfounded that you even did that. You had a presser on Monday, which absolutely blew a lot of people's minds, including myself. Then you had on Wednesday, Jeff Saturday come out and talk to the media by himself and actually won some people over for the way he talked about things. And then later in the week, you're finding out that one of your best players is going to have to be placed on IR, and you can no longer rely on him for a while. So that's a big blow going into on the road against a Raiders team that was itching to get a win over the fact that they were 2-7 or 2-6 going into this game. And then all things going crazy. You have media members calling out Jeff Saturday, calling out Jim Irsay, calling out the organization, saying it is a disgrace to football that Jeff Saturday is a coach here in Indianapolis. And then you go in to Allegiant Stadium and you play the Raiders, and in your first head coaching debut, you win your first game and all chaos erupts. So on top of just losing one of the worst losses you had all season the previous week, you had fired your previous OC, you fired your head coach, you rehire a new coach, you promote a guy who nobody had heard of before, Parks Frazier, the same day. And then on top of it, you hear from Jeff Saturday occasionally. Media is not happy about it. You lose one of your best players to IR. And then you go into a hostile environment and you have your team playing at the best level they played all season. And the Colts win the game. If this has not just been one of the wildest things ever, guys, Jeff Saturday was doubted before he even stepped in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And in his first game as a head coach, he wins. It doesn't matter if it was against the Raiders, but you win against Josh McDaniels, who a lot of people said is a qualified guy, and a guy that was so qualified enough to get an interview and offered a job by the GM of this team currently and backed out of it. And it was a very personal message for the Indianapolis Colts. And for Jeff Saturday to go in there knowing everything that's going on, to ignore it and to move on and move forward and to win with this team and to provide a team looking like the best it has played through the first 10 weeks of the season throughout all of it. And it has just been so wild, guys, to see how bad this team was playing for the first 9 weeks. And then everything that transpired, all the rumors going around, all the people that were disappointed, all the people that are upset, all the people that were shocked. And for this Colts team to go out and win the game like they did, it just goes to show you how wild the NFL can be, how wild this situation in Indianapolis is. And let me tell you something, guys, we are here for it. Doesn't matter what happens going into the future. We will be talking more about it as time goes along. But in this moment, guys, the Colts are riding on cloud 9 right now with what is going on in the media world and everything else. Everyone's talking about the Indianapolis Colts, whether it be bad, whether it be good, whether it be to troll people. I don't care. Colts are at the center of media world right now because people are going to lose their minds over what is transpired over this last week. And I'm telling you guys, one of the wildest weeks that has ever happened in Colts history. Let me know if you agree with this, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts. What's going on, everybody? Today, I wanted to talk to you about our sponsor, BetStamp. Now, I know what you're thinking. Derek, another betting app? What is so different about this one now? Well, I got to tell you guys, I'm not into online gambling a whole lot and bets online and everything, but I got to tell you, BetStamp is one of the coolest things I have ever seen in regards to betting online. The great thing about BetStamp is it allows you to see all the different odds from all different sports books and see which one provides you the best odds possible for any game or scenario you want to bet on for your pick versus some of the worst. BetStamp allows you to also buy and sell picks that you have without worrying about losing your money or having any issues with it. Believe me, it's all free. I mean, look at this, guys. You have an option for every game across all different kinds of leagues in a ton of different ways. You have baseball, you have college football, UFC, NBA, and NFL. Great for the NFL season now being here. And if I wanted to bet on this Tennessee Titans versus Buffalo Bills game, it shows me in real time what are the best odds, which sports book I'm going to get the best offer from versus some of the worst ones. Because why would you want to earn less money from PointsBet when you could be winning more from ProLine Plus? Again, a great thing that BetStamp offers you, allowing you to make more money for the same pick just with a different sports book. How easy is that? And the great thing is there's not just games. There's player props, there's game props, there's lines, there's live tracking. There's a ton of great ways to make bets and picks on BetStamp, guys. Totally a cool thing to use. I highly encourage you to check it out if you're into any kind of online betting. Even if you're not, give it a check. See what you like about it, because I think I actually enjoy using it. But the best way to get an edge on online sports betting is having multiple accounts at different sports books. Be sure to hit the BetLink page, betstamp.app/onboarding. Be sure to check out the BetStamp app or online, and be sure to use the referral code JUICE, plug in your state, and you'll get access to all their affiliates and their prices once you open it up, seeing all states' lines. Be sure to check this out, guys. You won't want to miss it for the best odds on your next sports bet.